or go and grow. I don't know. Like, let's see it. So unmute. Here we go. We're going to count to 3. And whenever I count to 3, you are going to say your name and where you're coming in from.
Let me give an example. She'll say 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to say, Larry Thompson from Dallas, Texas. That's what we want. Whatever that is, get on with it.
All right, so let's turn up the energy. If you want to, you got to change the physiology, right? You got to ready to take notes. You got to change the energy, change the physiology. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Nevada.
Oh, somebody
from Orlando.
You're way too cool. You're too sophisticated. I can't do anything like that. You got to change your face, change your finances, change your attitude, change your finances. Get on with it.
All right, you guys excited? All right, so I'm trying to find, where's my co-host here? I'm going to, let's see, I see
right there.
I see Chris.
I see
Chris. I need a little co-host action going on here. All right, you guys bear with me. And see that bright and shiny face. Okay, so how's everybody? We're so excited to be here. I know that we missed last week, but here's the thing. Like, we've made an agreement, like, we never ever want to compete with any, you guys unmute yourself down. Mute. We never want
I love the mute all control. I love it. I wish I had it at home, but I don't.
Yeah, me too. I wish I had it at home too. I really do wish that. No, so we didn't get a chance to meet with you guys, but we just made a really strong commitment that we were never going to do anything that was going to compete or conflict with anything that the company was doing. So we feel like that's really strong culturally. So you guys just, if there's anything going on that comes in that the company's doing on Monday night, just know that will take precedence over everything that we do here inside the focus group. So first and foremost, we want to welcome all of the new managers for the month of May. Welcome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shout out. Here we go. Okay, I need some more energy. At least I want to see it from everybody. So thank you, Sandy, and thank you, Amy. Okay. So the first thing is I want to do a little housekeeping things here. So if you got tagged, we just opened up the new Facebook group, which is the Glow Up Gig Facebook group. Okay. So I just put a video in there. I just pinned it to the top. If I can, Tim or Chris, can you guys help me let everybody in that needs to go in so I can focus on talking? So with that being said, I just opened up the group. And I put a video in there, and please, I'm just going to talk to the big elephant in the room or the big red eye in the room. So I've had an eye infection. Looked like Larry punched me in the eye.
And I never would. She's too strong.
I had to go to the ER. I mean, it was just, I had this big old eye infection, and then it was all getting well. And then Dolly, my grand dog, who's 80 pounds here, you hear her in the background, she just slapped me in the face. She just did she really did punch me in the eye. So that's why my eye looks so beautiful, all nice and red. So I'm going to recut the video, and I apologize, but I just couldn't wait any longer to get the group opened up for you guys. So we'll talk about how all that works, but I want you to go, I want you to think about the groups that are in place. These are all housekeeping things that you need to know and how this synergistically works together. And so right now you've got, Tim and Chris and the team 1%. And that group was already here and already established, and so great to really do recognition. It's all about recognition. It's all about keeping you in the loop of all the upcoming events, all the Zoom calls, all the opportunity meetings. It's so inundated with information for you to stay connected and stay in the know. So that group is there for, I'm going to say, culture and community. So the Glow Up Gig is a little bit different. So the Glow Up Gig community, this is whenever you take them to the glowupgig.com. And this, we're going to be adding layers, so just hang tight. So the glowupgig.com, it is a generic way for you to prospect. This is a generic way for you to send people to the site. It's a generic way for them to capture the information. What we're going to be doing is dripping on them about the product, about stories, about what's next for them. We want them to, the next step for them to become a planner. We want them to get them in our community. So with that, we're asking them to get back with the person because they need a customer ID, they need a planner ID in order for them to join this Glow Up Gig Facebook community. That's what it's there for. So we're educating them on, we want them to see before and after pictures. That was your assignment. And I know that I asked you to do that 2 weeks ago, and I apologize, but you're there now. I want you to go in there, like so many beautiful before and after pictures. Tell us your story. Tell us why you love Vermont. Tell us how you got here. Tell us what the products have done for you. Tell us how you've been able to offset what. What does that mean for you? So people can get to know you, get to know your story, and a part of how to leverage your story, yours and others, because that's part of the Use Talk demo process that we've been sharing with you. So we're going to be educating on products. We're going to be educating on stories. We're going to be pushing the focus group. The whole idea is this is the track for you to run your people on. They can plug in. They can come on the track and they can walk. Right? If you've seen the tracks, what are they designed to do? It's basically so you have a clear path with if you wanted to be a walker, whether you wanted to be a jogger, whether you wanted to be a runner, maybe you want to be a sprinter. It's designed for you to go at whatever pace you want to go at. So it's going to be talking about the focus group and getting them to the next step, which is the manager position. And then the other group that we set up for you is really about the wealth building. So it's all, if you happen to miss the recording, then it's going to be housed in there for you. We're going to place the recordings in there. Now, Larry's been telling me, so this is still up for debate. So I'm really watching as to how many people are going in for the replay. So he's of the opinion that he wants me to post it up there and leave it up there for 72 hours and then pull it down. So now, so far, I've left all the recordings in that Facebook group because I'm just watching to see, okay, how many people, let's talk about, we used this analogy at one of the very first meetings. We talked about going to the gym. Now, we also talked about desire. We talked about willingness. We talked about teachability. We also talked about you don't know it if you can remember it. You know it when you can't forget it. So now this is your opportunity. Are you going to go to the gym without somebody saying you got to go to the gym? Or are you going to go to the gym and lift the weights whether we are there or not? That's really comes the question. So, and there will be a percentage that does, and there will be a percentage that doesn't. So anyway, so that's still up for debate, but we're going to leave.
Can I talk about it?
You want it? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, the reason I want it for 72 hours, it's self-responsibility. Okay. You just leave it up. Oh, I'll get it. I'll get to it. Come on. Okay, you got to be deadly serious about changing your face and changing your finances because there's never been anything like change your face and change your finances. You understand? There's never been anything like it with everything that we have. So I'm a 72-hour guy because the more you got back there, then people start going back there that are not lifting their weights, and we'll just start looking and watching. Okay. If you're on the focus group, and I want to talk a little bit about the focus group, I want to congratulate all of you. This is the second month of focus group number 1. Okay. The focus group is, you got to understand, I'm saying this for all the new people. I know the rest of you have heard this before, but it's like Taylor said, you don't know something when you remember it, you know something when you can't forget it. And if you understand what the focus group is all about, you're walking in what my daddy used to call tall cotton, okay? I came from Texas, okay? Walking in tall cotton means it's easy picking, okay? The stalks are taller. It's easier to get. So with the focus group, what it's all about is what every major company, when they bring out anything, a car, okay, a hair product, okay, a machine, no matter what it is, they put focus groups together. You've heard that phrase more than one time. What does that mean? They take a small group of people, okay, small for us here, could be 100 or 1,000. They take a small group of people with different demographics of age, education, income, and what do? They test their marketing. They test their messaging. They test what is working. So the reason for the focus groups, the reason that Taylor and I have been able to affect so many different companies is we've always worked with brand new focus groups where we start with a small group of people, okay, to be able to fashion and form the messaging, okay, the attitude, the direction, and says, as we go out there, and guess what happens in a focus group? The first focus group gets X amount of results as far as messaging and behavior, audience language and behavior. The second focus group, which will May, June, July, we'll start in August, okay? Progress. You guys will be part of that automatically. But that second focus group came in with a different start than the first focus group as far as dialing in the messaging, the audience language behavior. So the first, what you've heard Taylor say, the way you bring people in, it's the way you bring them up. So you guys we're bringing people in this month, this focus group, May, June, July. Guess what's going to happen? In the next focus group, the way you bring them in is the way you bring them up. That's all they know. That second focus group, that's all they know. So you're dialing in the messaging on the new perfume. You're dialing in the message on the new car. You're dialing in the message on the new thing. And now you're getting ready to go public, real public. And that's focus group number 3 will be starting at the end of the year. So you guys are part of something very special. This is very tactical. It's very philosophical. Okay. It's very psychological. To be able to dial in these little bitty nuances of messaging. Because I guarantee you, if it is a car or a perfume or new jewelry coming out, it's not far off when they start. It's just dialing it in and dialing it in and dialing it in. You guys, we're excited about having you here. We're excited about your participation. And I promise you this, the basic fundamentals that you're going to walk away with being part of this focus group, it's going to be, I hate to use this phrase because I think it's overused and it's undervalued. It's going to change your philosophical, psychological thinking about your business, about your marriage, and about your kids. Because the way you want to respond to the public is the way that husbands and wives want to respond to each other, children and parents that respect each other, family members. It's all the same thing. It's called a few simple things, half a dozen things. So congratulations for being here. Hang in there. And anyway, go ahead.
No,
Taylor's got a great call going.
No. This is so good. This is so good because, one of the things that Larry just touched upon, and we call it, the selves, like the self-leadership skills. And
self-leadership. Did you hear that? Not walking on hot coals, okay? Not having to go buy masterminds. Nothing wrong with any of that stuff. Nothing wrong with it. You guys got the self-leadership right now. Wait, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, this is because we're going to dialogue today. I've got a lot of dialogue because I've got a lot of people that I want you to hear from and different things and perspectives of implementation of things that we've been talking about, but then they've taken the things or they've heard the things and now they're taking and applying it inside of their business. That is the self-leadership, yes. Right? Because it's so easy. What's easy to do is easy not to do. It could be easy for you to come on the focus group and you qualified for the focus group and you're sitting here and now you're sitting here and now you're taking notes and it's so easy because it's fun, it's exciting, you're a part of something like bigger and you can take notes and you can walk away from here and you're like, wow, that was such a great call. I'm so excited. And then you start cooking dinner and then life happens and then tomorrow rolls around. and life gets in the way. And before you know it, it's next week and we got another focus group call and not one thing was taken and applied, right? And I'm not saying that to be condemning in any way. I'm saying that because I understand that that's life. I understand. Why do I understand it? Because I've done it. I've done it. I mean, I would like to say, oh yes, I'm perfect. I've been in every meeting and applied everything that I like. No, that's just not true. And it can be true for anybody. But the point of it is that be intentional whenever you do come to the table with this self-leadership. Be intentional whenever you take the notes, to be intentionally looking back and like, what did I glean from that? What is being said? What does that mean? And what does that mean to me right now? So before you fold up the book, before you put it away and say, okay, that call's over and on to the next thing, maybe take a look at it. What does this mean to me? What did I get? What is one thing, just maybe one thing that I can incorporate in what I'm currently doing? What's one thing, what's one of the takeaways that I can take from this call tonight and implement it and execute it maybe tomorrow? Because whenever, what you don't use, you lose.
Well, let me jump in on this just a second here, okay? Because I know what happens to distributors, okay? I know what is always being said, but I always know what distributors are hearing because of all the different shoes that I've worn in my 56 years and all the different experience that I've had there, okay? And Taylor said it 2 times earlier, life happens, okay? Life happens, okay? And you know what? Life happens at this moment in time. At this moment in time happens to be Monday night at 6 p.m. Central Time in America, okay? That's what it happens to be. Guess what? Before you get off this phone call, before get off this Zoom, some of you are going to have a moment in time that's going to totally distract you. Do not beat yourself up. Do not say, oh, well, I'm not good enough. Do not do that. It happens to everybody, okay? Yeah. And you just pick back up the ball and get back into the game. It's no different than playing any kind of sports. It's no different than anything, okay? Do not beat yourself up. It isn't important what you pick up from this that you do not do. Guess what's important? What you pick up that you do and get better at it, and because you understand it. Getting better at this doesn't mean you have to get taller. Getting better at this doesn't mean you have to get shorter, younger, older, okay? More skilled with technology. That has nothing to do with anything, okay? There's basic fundamentals of about a half a dozen things that you will pick up on and you will just implement. And let me tell you something. As you rank up to manager, okay, you say, now I got it. Baby, you haven't arrived. As you rank up to senior manager, you haven't arrived. As you rank up to team leader, there is no arrival point. It's always ups and downs, ins and outs, no different than a marriage, no different than raising your children that you just can't believe how sweet they are, how nice they are. Then they become 13. Okay, now what the heck are you going to do? Okay, what are you going to do with that? Okay, especially if they're girls. Okay, we got 6 girls between us, and all of our dogs are girls. And I always make the joke about it, but there's so much estrogen going around here. I got to start wearing a bra sometimes. Man.
I mean, like even yesterday, we were sitting by the pool, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I've got one that's getting married and one that's going through a life challenge, and they're at odds. They're in their 20s. They're at odds, and I'm like, I've failed as a mom. Like, oh my gosh, I've failed as a mom.
No, that's one thing to hear that and say, yeah, no, she felt it.
I'm sharing this with you. Because there's like people say, oh my gosh, your family this, and congratulations on this. And we see these things in social media. We see like the picture perfect, things happening. And what we don't realize, or sometimes we forget, that life behind those photos and those videos that we see, the real life circumstances, as a mom, I was literally going through in that moment, whenever they're at odds and I can't fix it. And I failed as a mom. Why would they be fighting like this? So my point in sharing this is that we all have those experiences, and it's not, the deal is that it doesn't, you've heard the phrase, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And the sooner that you can, get through it with the mindset, the sooner that you can get in it and then get out of it as quickly as you can, no matter what no matter what curveball has been thrown at you. That's where the growth is. It does, how you react or how you respond in life circumstances and how quickly you can get out of it. So anyway.
In the group here together, in the focus group, is to not only give you the audience to share with you the primary purpose, audience, language, and behavior, okay, is to be able for you as an individual to understand that what you're going through is everybody, different degrees, and different times. You may be Stallone, Rocky, okay? Yeah. You may be Rocky, but let me tell you something. Rocky got his tail kicked at the next movie. You guys understand? Had to come back and was going through. That's what happens on a daily basis with life, and that's what's going to happen on a daily basis with you. But if you understand, there's only a half a dozen things. Baseball is run, hit, catch, throw. It never changes.
Basketball, dribble, pass, shoot.
That's it. And if you get the basics down, then you can always come back to the basics and go back to audience, language, and behavior and say, what can I do today? And let me tell you, so there's nothing like being down and talking to someone that gets you up. A lot of people say, boy, the best time to talk to someone is when you just talk to someone that's positive. The best time to talk to someone is when they just said negative, because you got to get you back. You can't have somebody else getting you back to run, hit, catch, throw. You got to say, I got to get back to run, hit, catch, throw, and do this. Because when you're talking, you got one finger going out. Guess what you got coming back? 3. Every time you tell the story, every time you encourage someone, every time you challenge someone, every time you got to slap them around a little bit, like kids, pat them on the popo kind of hard. You guys know what I'm talking about, okay? Every time you got to be real with people and real with yourself, you got 1 going that way, you got 3 coming back. So you got to use talk demo. You got to talk about changing your face, changing your finances. Oh, there's only a half a dozen things. Oh my goodness, I need to be focused on this. I need to get back in. Do not beat yourself up. Do not do that when you drop down. Take self-responsibility and get yourself back up with the community, with the group.
Yeah, I love this. I love this so much. I was interviewed today. Yeah.
Oh, good.
No, I didn't. I forgot. I actually forgot. It was Tim that messaged. He goes, "Are we recording?" I'm like, "No, I'm sorry." Anyway, so anyway.
She forgot. She forgot. Not me.
But you were supposed to remind.
Yeah, it was my fault.
Anyway.
I did remind her. I was just late.
So I was actually interviewed. Some of you know about our book, and I was interviewed about the book. And they were asking me some questions about the Millionaire Training book today. And they were like, okay, so
this is the European group we were.
So, and they were asking me, like, out of all the concepts, what would be the one of the things that you feel like you want to leave the group with, one of your favorite things? And I said, because it ties right into this 1 finger pointing out and the 3 coming back. And I said, probably one of the things that I would leave with you in the concepts of inside of the book that means that's applicable, whether it's in business or whether it's in life or whatever you're doing, would be the film and the projector. And if you haven't read the book, and if you don't know what it is, I'll give you a little concept around it. So the film and the projector, meaning, what film do you have in your projector? So the film and the projector is what's showing up on your screen of life. If you don't like what the movie looks like, if you don't like what the screen ahead of you looks like and what you're seeing in front of you, then what do you have to do? If you don't like the movie, what would you do? Change the channel. If you don't like the movie, what do you do? In the old days, it would have been pull out the VHS and put in another VHS. Or, nowadays, if you don't like what you're seeing, you flip it to Netflix or Hulu or whatever is streaming on your TV, right? And so, but we all do that. And I gave an example, which I think would be very effective for this particular group here. And Larry used the analogy of whenever you've got one finger pointing out, right? So whenever you've got one finger pointing out, and we are using the terminology, or we'll say the strategy of use, talk, demo. If you, and we talked about this the last time, your most powerful tool you personally have is your own story. Your story that you take to the marketplace, the story of why you love these products, why you love this business, why you qualified for manager, what you were able to offset, all of these things of what you feel like your story. That's the most powerful tool you have. Now, inside of this community, my hopes is that you get to know each other's stories. So now you have more tools in your toolbox that you can take to the marketplace, right? Because you're sharing stories. You become a paid storyteller. That's the way I see it. You're paid for sharing stories. So whenever you're doing this and you're sharing your story, you got 3 coming back. The power is in the spoken word. And so whenever you hear it, and I'll use I love the scripture, is faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word. The more you hear that, the more you hear those words, then your belief increases, your faith increases in what you're doing and why you're doing it and why you love it. And I gave the analogy of okay, think about if the screen or the projector, that what was on your projector, let's just say I'm going to tell you to think about a pink elephant. Now, right now, if you're thinking about a pink elephant, that's on your screen of life right this minute. All of you see in your mind, subconsciously, you see a pink elephant. Now, I'm going to ask you to stop thinking about a pink elephant. Stop thinking about this pink elephant. It's impossible. You can't control a thought with a thought. Now, you still have the pink elephant in your brain, and all of you are on mute. Now what I want you to do is I want you to count to 10 out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What happened to the pink elephant? It disappeared.
Because of activity you did.
It was the activity. It was you talking. It was you talking that made that screen change. It's a great exercise for you to say, what changed it? It was the activity of you talking that changed the film, that changed what you saw on your screen. Now, can that be implemented anytime? Can you use this exercise anytime? I mean, we can use this analogy, and I think I did the other day, the last time, whenever I said, if you think about calling somebody and you've got somebody in your mind and you want to reach out to them, and you have this conversation in your mind, and before you even have the chance to have the conversation, they've already told you no because it was in your screen. Right? We've all done that. We've all had these conversations in our mind, and therefore we never pick up the phone. We never pick up, I date myself like this. I mean, this is the old, whenever the phones used to look like this, now they look like this, I think that's what my girls say. Isn't that funny? I never thought about this until my girls were like, Mom, nobody does this anymore. I'm like, okay, I got it. So pick up the phone. And so now whenever you've changed your screen, and your screen says something different, and it says, yes, Larry's going to say yes. Larry's going to love this, love my story. I can't wait for Larry to hear my story about how I changed my face, how I changed my finances. So that's just a little handle to hang on to, but I want to, this call or this meeting here today, I really wanted you to hear from some of the people and some of the conversations that have been happening behind the scenes and kind of what's been going on. And so, and she doesn't even know I'm about to call on her, but I am. So
always dangerous.
Sandy. She's like, uh-oh.
I did. I said, uh-oh. Hi.
So how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
So I don't want to deter anybody from reaching out to me on Messenger, but if you're bold enough to reach out to me and Larry on Messenger, this could be the possible scenario.
I love it when people reach out to me on Messenger. I'll be talking to you, I promise you.
That unfolds. And so this is a situation. So I met Sandy whenever we were in LA at the event, and I met her at the headquarters, and she came up and introduced herself. So we had this great conversation, and then just right after we had our first focus group, I think she messaged me, and she was in my spam folder, and I just saw it last night. This is so fresh. So this literally just happened last night. And so I would like for, if you don't mind, Sandy, can you maybe recap for the team here, like recap for what you reached out to me and what was your initial question? And let's kind of maybe recap the dialogue that we had yesterday. Do you mind doing that?
No, that's fine. I actually had to go back and re-listen to my message because it was a few weeks ago or whatever.
Okay, so first of all, hang on just a second, Paul, excuse me for interrupting. Okay, so if I call on you and people don't know you, please introduce yourself and maybe where you live or your background so people kind of know you a little bit.
Are you a long-haired hippie construction worker, a stay-at-home mom, or a race car driver? Who are you, and where do you live? In Timbuktu, or do you live in Dallas?
All right, so anyway, so just we'll set the pace for it like that, okay?
Okay, awesome. I did it all, Larry. Okay, no. So my name is Sandy. I live in Southern California. I'm in Newbury Park, California. So it's like 45 minutes north of LAX and all that. And I've been in the hair industry. I've been a hair colorist for over 35 years. Love beauty and all the things and helping women. That is definitely my story. And so I found Reman, a friend. Oh, and by the way, okay, so I've kind of done it all. When you said stay-at-home mom, I've done that too. Like I've just done a lot of things like that. Homeschooling. Then I got into health and wellness on the side from hair. Did that, and I was successful in that, but never. The thing there is I actually never recruited. So it was more of a program that you coach. So it was more client based. So this is like all new to me as far as like traditional network marketing. And I'm excited because I'm just kind of laying down anything I think I know and having a whole new experience. So I'm super excited about Reman, and the benefits. Honestly, my story in this part is that, I was very successful in my hair career. And, but when I found that network marketing type of thing, and I almost 6 figures. I was like 80 something thousand a year on that. And without trading that time for money type of thing and helping people, it was just like that really opened my eyes, right? Instead of having, 10-hour workdays standing on my feet and doing all that. So I just loved it. And so when I found when this was brought to me by Seth, he's just amazing. A couple of months ago, it was a no-brainer. All I needed to know, which I told you to Taylor, all I needed to know was number 1 K beauty in the world, like in Korea. That spoke volumes. The weight of that, number 1, was that, and 2.5 billion in 5 years was like, I was sold. It was like, send me, I got to order it, So then I saw the before and afters. The transformations are so incredible. Like I know, like in my industry and the best of the best, like even all the med spas and all the pharmaceutical grade stuff, like nothing has brought me results like Reman. And so, so with that, and then for the first time, I have created some, people have, I don't know, maybe I have like 15 planners under me right now. And that's a first, like I've never had that. So for the first time, I feel like I can actually win here at Reman. I feel that I can, I love that. Sorry, I don't mean to go on and on, but the community, the health of the actual community is incredible to me. Like the openness, the teaching, and everybody, the sideline stuff, just everything just feels so healthy here, So I'm really grateful. And okay,
so I'm going to pause you just here for a minute. So because I want to dial this in. So one of the things that she said in this, and I want you to pick up on the bullet points or the handles, right? Some of the handles that got her was what she talked about. Number 1 K beauty, right? And the sales figures, 2.5 billion in 5 years. So we talked about those handles in the week before, right? And the before and after pictures, use, talk, demo. I want you to see in the story and in how she's talking about the things that got her, right? So whenever you reached out to me, and so you said, okay, I've had coaches, I've done this, I'm so confused. I don't know, should I talk about this? Should I talk about that? And so I went back to you and I talked about, it all works, but it's all conceptual. And then you came back. So this is the pivotal part of the conversation that I want you to dive into. So what you did, and you didn't even realize what you did it. So you came back and you shared with me what happened. You did at your business. Talk about what you did when you shared this piece with me. What you did in your pop-up.
She doesn't know.
No, she does.
I know, it's almost like I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't even know what it is I'm doing. But what I'm thinking, I don't know if this is answering your question, is that one of the things I was telling Tara about too today is that one of my obstacles was that the whole demo part, I had to overcome this belief of some cheesy Mary Kay thing. I'm just going to be honest here. Like, to do a pop-up, I had to get over this. And you guys, I had so much fun doing it. I love women. And so the connection, and there were 6 people. First of all, it was 100% successful. Like, everybody bought. And it was, I actually had fun. The whole preparation of actually planning that event, it actually gave me something to actually invite these people to, which is so different than just talking, going, hey, right? And so anyway, that was a huge thing to overcome for me. Huge.
Okay, so because whenever you shared this with me, then what I did was and so I'm trying to dial this in. So whenever you shared what you did, and I said, you literally, that piece right there is your story. All I did was I had this little pop-up party at my business. I invited a few people over. I had 6 ladies over. I just put the product on their face. They tried it. They all bought. I got a couple of planners and some and 2 of my planners brought 2 people. They all bought. And it was such an easy thing for me to do. All I did was demonstrate these products. I didn't have to say anything other than what I did, my story, and they shared their story. And that's how simple it was. And I had to, whenever I went back to you, you were like, oh my gosh, you didn't even realize what you had done. You didn't even realize the simplicity of what you said in the conversation. And so what I pointed out to you was that is the story you take to the marketplace. Because you were asking me about social media. And I said, that story right there is the messaging, whether you did a Facebook Live, whether you did an Instagram Live, whether you did a TikTok, whether you did a reel, whether you did a post, that message.
Or in the parking lot at Walmart.
Exactly. That message translates in all platforms because it's as simple as change your face, change your finances. That's the concept. How you are delivering the message doesn't change. You understand? That message, your story, what you did, all I did was this. And you overcome a barrier in your mind because that you thought was an obstacle. And then once you stepped out of your comfort zone to just do it, then you're like, oh my gosh, this is easy. Anyone can do this. So you overcome that barrier in your own mind, which is complete growth. But what I wanted you to see, and then you were like, oh my gosh. So whenever I came back to you and I pointed that out, how did you feel in that moment?
I felt like, really? Like, like it's almost like so easy that like I still can't grasp it. It's so weird. It's like, yeah. So I actually had to go back and listen to the message I sent you to hear myself because, yeah.
And so thank you so much. Thank you so much for.
Let me add something to this, okay? I know that when you're hearing this, you say, okay, but I know a lot of you, most of you are nervous about doing what she did and what Taylor talking about, especially how Taylor described it, okay? What if they asked you a question about something you don't know the answer to? Okay, I got a better one. What if they asked you a question that you do know the answer to? The answer, if you know or don't know, is identical. Okay, especially if you know. Okay, I don't know about that. All I know is I changed my face and changed my finances, and I had 6 people come over and this happened. Well, what about this? Where is the plant? Who makes it? What about the farm? What about? I really don't know, because you really don't know. Let me tell you, you really don't know. Angie does the most incredible training I've ever seen. Okay. Everything she says, you get caught up in. Okay. You get caught up. This is unbelievable. Okay. But let me tell you something. You don't know that to be true. It's 100% true, but you don't know it. The only thing you know is what happened to your face. The only thing you know is what happened to those 6 people. So that gives you the authority to talk about with absolute confidence about what you do know. I don't know about that. You try and repeat some of that stuff that Angie did, that's gonna lead you down primrose path. Okay. Every question is, I don't know about that. All I know is this. Change my face, change my finance. Well, when do you spray it on? Well, I think it's like this, but I really don't know. But however you do it, it's going to work like this. You see what I mean?
Well, when do you spray it on? How do you spray it on? Well, are you right-handed or left-handed? If you're left-handed,
that's important how they spray this on. Do it again.
If you're left-handed, you spray it like this. And if you're right-handed, you spray it like this. I mean, I know that sounds really dodo, but the point of it is simplicity is the strategy. The simplicity is the strategy, because the less professional that you become, the more relatable you are to everyone. And so I appreciate you I appreciate you being vulnerable and letting me call upon you, Sandy. Thank you so much for doing that.
I want to comment about something here that I just don't want to forget right now. You used the word traditional network marketing. Okay. I will tell you that we have access to the top of the top of the top and work with the top of the top of the top. And then we work with the A team, B team, C team, all of them. Okay. Doesn't matter what country, what product, what company. And you know what the main message is in network marketing today? Traditional network marketing doesn't work anymore. That's what they're saying. And they're saying it because network marketing is going like it's been declining for 6 years, okay? Because they haven't adjusted to the current audience language behavior. You know who's saying that traditional network marketing doesn't work anymore? Traditional network marketers. They don't know anything else. They know what's happened in the last dozen years that's driven it like this. So, by the way, traditional network marketers has nothing to do. It could be all ranks, all income, all companies. They're the ones that are confused because they got away from the current audience language and behavior, which I was brought in with 56 years ago, to always stay focused on the half a dozen things: run, hit, catch, throw concept.
So true. So I love
this. This is good stuff, guys.
Okay. So next person I want to take it over to is Miss Susan Manuelo. Susan, where are you? Did I say your name right? Did I say it?
Manuelo. It's pretty close.
Oh, listen, I've been watching your face on screen, and you're so excited to watch because you're really into it.
I love it. I love it. I loved our conversation today. I loved everything that we conversed about. It was so amazing. But I invited Susan on just because I don't know if you have. She sent a message to Tim, and Tim shared that with Larry and I, and it was some feedback that was happening with somebody in her group. And so I was like, wow, it's such a great story. And I always think that, documentation is worth more than conversation, right? I always think that stories, these are the parts, these stories, hearing these stories increase belief, right? It increases all of our belief as a whole, right? And so I wanted to invite her on. Well, first of all, I definitely wanted to congratulate you because I know that you just hit the rank as director. So we definitely want to give you a big.
Oh, come on. You guys clap. We're watching. You give her a hand. When you get out there, you want to see this too. Wake up. You guys pay attention here. Take responsibility.
Here we go. So anyway, congratulations. And so would you like to share with me kind of some of the things that we talked about this afternoon? Because I think that everybody would benefit from this story.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Way to start out with me getting tears in my eyes. Not fair. Thank you for the celebration. You guys are all just absolutely amazing and beautiful. There's so much that I want to share, but I'm for being on or for inviting me on. And thank you for, wanting to share this story because it was inspiring to me. And I just want to inspire anyone that's out there. I think all of us on the call, first of all, congratulations, all new managers. And then also congratulations to whoever you helped. If you were already a manager. And that's what, when you guys first launched this, this coaching.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Make sure that you say where you're from.
Oh, I forgot.
Are you a long-haired hippie? Or what are you? A truck driver? What are you?
I am kind of a long-haired hippie, Larry. I love to that. I'm in Colorado, so yes. I grew up on a farm, but I'm definitely more of a hippie. That's awesome. But I'm in the mortgage business. That's my day-to-day that I've been in. I was in corporate sales. I do have a background in this industry. Very blessed to have, made some incredible relationships along the way. And that's one thing with Remon. I was like, oh my gosh, this is special. I have to tell the most amazing people about this because I could tell that something was different. And I'm just so blessed that they saw what I could see in this, and here we are.
Well, and I just have to tell you, Tim just put in the notes here in the chat. He said Susan is also the top 5 director in June as of today. So that
come on, guys, come on! I want to see it. Come on!
Oh my gosh, seriously!
Some of you just too cool to do
it. Stop! It's just a reflection of everyone that's amazing. That's all it is. Okay, so. Losing my focus here. So I will tell you in April when you guys were launching this, I was like, holy moly, this is amazing. Coming from corporate America, traditional business, but also having a background in this industry, many of you have to pay for coaching programs if you want to go to the next level. And within this structure of this business, you can, but you also get so much coaching with our teams and our amazing leaders and all of us iron sharpening iron. And we get that. But then when Tim and Chris invite Larry and Taylor Thompson, talk about the applause, please, everyone. I was yeah, right. I was so excited, so honored. And you guys have just been really incredible coaches already. And we're just getting started. But that was one thing in April. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just like many of you, I made the decision. I think that's what we have to help people do is make the decision to go manager or make the decision to help someone that you just got started, go manager, because this coaching is so valuable. They don't have to pay for it. It's already provided. Holy moly, the value in that is so humongous. And when you help them go manager and they are now on these calls, we've had in May and now starting in June, what is happening out of being on these calls, out of the coaching from Larry and Taylor, it is blowing my mind. So I just have to share, one person that I was like, okay, who's coming with me? Who's going to do this in May? And it was my cousin. Her name is Karen Bretz, and she's on this call. And because of course I was reaching out, who's going to come with me? Who's going to come with me? And Karen was like, yeah, I want to come with you. Let's do it. Let's do the focus group. But what was so cool about her story is she is a tax accountant. So she started using the products January, February. They were definitely changing her face, but she is so busy, right? So she's like, don't call me until after April 15th. And really in her mind, she was thinking she probably would start May 1st. But with this focus group, I was like, hey, calling her on April 16th. Hey, Karen, why don't you run with me for this focus group? Because if you qualify and I help you qualify, then we both get on the coaching. And she was like, okay, sure. So she hit manager at the end of April, got on the focus group calls in May. And like many, and I can see what's going on in my own business. My language is changing from their coaching. I know many of you on this call, I can see it. I can see it with the Zooms you're doing and the coaching that's just coming through so much. But it is so cool when you get a text like this, right? Like, I know I'm not alone, but this is the text that I shared with Tim Herr, because when I got it, I was like, oh my gosh. So I told her, I was like, oh my gosh, you're such a testimony of this focus group. And she's like, I love this call. Definitely need this recording. So I said, yes, it's so good. She's like, thank you so much for that. The book and the focus group have completely changed my mindset, plan, direction, everything. I should have sent you pictures on what I've already organized today for my business. I'm telling you, as soon as I get at a comfortable level, every serious person on my team is getting a book. That means your book, Larry. And she said, lock arms with you, lock arms with me. Anyone that is motivated like us, we're going to take them to the top. So I will just tell you, Karen has done other businesses with me because she's my cousin, and she has been like customer getter, and she's done really great things with that. But because of the focus group, because of this amazing team, Tim and Chris, thank you so much for having Taylor and Larry Thompson for us. Like, this woman, she wants to go to team leader. She is running. She like has her sights set on Jeju Island. And I have never seen that. She's a single mom of 3 beautiful kids. And like, I've just never seen her be on fire like this. And so just thank you so much, you guys. It makes me want to go help as many people get to manager as we possibly can. And that is the name of the game, because this coaching is where it's at. So with that, back to you guys.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Right. Well, come on, you guys. Let's see it. Come on.
I mean, like, I first of all, I really do have to commend you, Susan, because, they say, if it's to be, it's up to me, that you've heard that phrase before. And the fact that you were like, I'm going to qualify. So many times I think that if you get us, you go, oh, well, I don't need to do that. I've done this. But, you setting the pace, you setting the standard for your team and everybody that's come with you speaks volumes of your self-leadership without question. And the fact that you took somebody by the hand and said, let's do this together. That's what we always envisioned for the focus group, was like, let's do this together, because of the growth and what's taking place. And so I'm so excited to see, because, at your level, at your rank where you could have very easily just said, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. So it speaks volumes of your leadership, and that you want to help other people get to where you are. And so I cannot congratulate you for your leadership, and also Karen, what think about this right here. Karen is one of those people that how you bring them in, how you bring them up. Karen will be that one. She will be the one
who knows that.
That's the only thing that she knows, right? So everybody that's coming in from that line in the sand forward, this is all they will know. They won't have any excess baggage. And so anyway, super excited.
True. And can I just piggyback on that really quick? Because Sure. It is exactly what's happening. She has 7 pop-ups scheduled this week. I talked to her today, 7. And she is helping her planner now go to manager because she wants her on this focus group. So it is duplicating, and it's beautiful.
And I thank you so much for everything, and especially about you're talking about the coaching. But listen, you guys need to understand something about coaching. Okay. You don't have to walk on hot coals. You don't have to get taller. You don't have to get shorter. There's a dozen things that you need to get. And every coaching that we do is bringing you at the level that you're at, bringing you to a greater understanding of run, hit, catch, throw. The simple things. There's you're going to hear it over and over. The difference is you are hearing it at a different level at this moment in time where you are. I love what Taylor said earlier on here, the first call or something like that. She said, it's kind of like scripture. Okay. When you read the Bible, I guarantee you that what you get out of it today at this moment in time that you're going through in life right now with kids, husband, sickness, finances, dogs, everything that you're going through with, okay? I promise you, you read that same scripture 6 months from today, and you're going to get something different out of it because you're different at this moment in time. A little bit of confidence, a little bit of extra confidence, a little bit of extra belief in yourself is going to change everything the next time that you have the opportunity to apply this stuff. You can't learn it by hearing it. You can't learn it by unless you're applying it. And that half a dozen things, the biggest three is the audience, language, and behavior, the current audience, language, and behavior that exists. Okay, I'm telling you, you guys have got, it's out there. It's out there. Anyway, I'm going to get crazy. I got to slow down, let Taylor. She's got more people coming on here.
Yeah, no, so thank you so much,
Yeah,
Susan, and congratulations to you guys. I can't wait to hear more about the glow up parties. Like, wait, gosh, there's so much we still have to unpack and do. Like, it's crazy. But the next person I want to take it over to, this was really cool. And I don't know if you have this. I think what I'll do is I should probably read it for you, because what happened is that he actually sent a message to Larry, and no, not this one. No. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna let them read the message, because I think the message was really, really great. And so I want you to give a big congratulations. You guys saw him speak on stage, and he also just made the position of director. So we want to congratulate him. So Mr. Julian Doan, welcome to the stage.
Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Welcome.
Awesome. So excited to be here with everybody.
Thank you. So I reached out to you and had a conversation with you today. So because you sent a message to Larry after one of the last focus groups that we did. So would you mind sharing that message, reading that message to everyone?
Yeah, no problem. Let me pull it up.
And let's talk about it.
Okay, so my message I sent to Larry. Well, Larry sent me a message, and I was just complimenting the book that he wrote. It's such a good book. There's an audio version as well that's available on YouTube. I highly recommend everybody listening to it. I made all my leaders listen to it, and I'm pretty sure I've listened to it more than all my leaders. That's how powerful it is. But I sent him a message, and the message says, the focus group has really supported my group. Only one of my legs are full of networkers, and my other legs are first timers. I've been feeling for a long time that MLM is so great, but because of the years of so many people doing it wrong or only recruiting networkers, that presentations and basic trainings have been more focused on them. And sometimes I feel like it's unrealistic and it goes over the heads of brand new people. So I really appreciate your trainings and your message. We just promoted another team leader. Yvonne and I are wrapping up director the next 48 hours. And really the big shift came in changing the language. So thank you, sir. Wow. That was the message.
Wow.
And by the way, I loved it. I have no idea what I said back to you, but I know I was excited about it. That's all I could tell you.
Yeah, no, I mean, that kind of feedback is what totally drives Larry and I. And like, from my perspective, it was so spot on the way that you articulated what you were feeling and what you'd been experiencing. And then for you to have the experience of what you've seen with your team as a direct result of that. So do you want to talk a little bit about, what's over with your team and what's going on?
So just to share a little about myself, just so we're not complete strangers. My name is Julian. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Rosemead, California. And when I took a look at Remon, I was a has-been network marketer. I've been outside of network marketing for 10 years. I'm a professional gym rat with autism. I film fitness classes. I teach boxing classes for major brands. And so I took a look at Remon because Tim and Chris, mentored me in the past and helped me become very, very successful. But full transparency, when I got started in Remon, everything made sense. I mean, the products, the comp plan, the story, the timing. But something that I actually haven't publicly said to most people is that when I first got started, I had a lot of doubt, not down the company, not down the leadership. It was one of those things that I've been out of the game for so long. And yes, I've hit a high rank in the past, but there's always that nagging thought that said, man, like, I know what it takes to get to the top of the mountain. Am I willing to do that again? Can I do that again? And so my first couple, like I got started in October. I didn't really do anything until January. My first 2 months, I tried to recruit nothing but networkers. And because I've been out of the game for so long, you had to rebuild the rapport and relationship. So my business didn't really take off. And then, I got incredibly lucky. I want to shout out Susan. I got incredibly lucky with Susan. That was a blessing from God because, I paid for someone to get started. I gave them some extra money. That person, recruited Susan and then quit, ghosted me, never heard from them again. But because of him, we met Susan and Susan took off. But kind of like what I shared in the story, I didn't have a lot of success in the beginning, right? Susan just got started. There was no real traction yet. And Tim sat me down. He says, hey, you can go out there and recruit non-networkers, right? And it's something so simple, but it was one of those things I was like, yeah, that's true, right? There's more non-networkers than networkers. And so I went out there, I started introducing people to the business. That's how I met Alan, who's one of my team leaders, Marisol, one of my team leaders, Vero, one of my team leaders, and none of them have any experience in network marketing. This is their first go around, their first time building the business. And I promise you, like no exaggeration, it was the focus groups that allowed me to have that success. And I'll tell you why. Just looking at numbers, at the beginning of May, I was 200,000 points away from director. At the beginning of April, May, I was 110,000 volume away from director. And my group only did about like 50,000 the month before. And I'm just like, okay, how am I going to make this thing happen? But it was the focus groups for 2 reasons. Number one, because as the team started to grow, I knew I couldn't be everywhere, right? And I couldn't be everything to everybody, right? Like we can have it all, we just can't do it all. And so the focus groups came at a perfect time because, when you have professionals that have experience, and just to give you guys an idea, like, Larry Thompson and Taylor Thompson, to quote Chris Kim, right? He gave me this analogy a long time ago. They're the Jimmy Levine of this business. You're like, who's Jimmy Levine, right? Well, he started a record label, right? He signed up a guy named Dr. Dre, who created Interscope Records. That's Danny Bay, right? And then he recruited a guy named Eminem, right? That's Tim Her, right? And then he recruited a guy named 50 Cent, right? And that's Chris Kim, because Chris Kim's gangster like that. But just to give you an idea, but when Chris gave me that example, I was like, who the heck is Jimmy? And he's like, Jimmy's the person that started it all. He goes, the real legends are the ones that people barely even know is there, but their touch, their presence, their teaching is felt. So even if, just to let some of you know, even if you're new to this industry, you might not know who Larry is, but for the people that know this industry, a lot of your favorite leaders, owners, people that run billion-dollar companies were mentored by Larry. So for me, when that was explained to me, I said, why wouldn't I want people to be on these calls? So one, as my team grew, it allowed my team to have something to plug into. And as I was plugging into the calls, I had 2 major realizations that changed the business. One was that depending on someone's level of leadership, skills, and abilities will determine how you coach them, right? 2 people can go on the same call, get off the call, and get 2 different results because of where they're at. And I realized that for me, because I've been in the industry for so long, building networkers, working with networkers, that language is missed on people that are not networkers, right? Someone that has skill, you can give them a general command like, hey, go build the business, go recruit somebody, and they'll know what to do. But with a brand new person, like these terms, again, like recruiting, prospecting, because network marketing has used it so much, people get turned off by that, right? And so what happens is most people know what to do, they don't know how to do it. So when you simple it down to basic instructions at the most basic level where people feel confident they can do it, they're going to do it. So instead of saying recruiting, I started telling people, hey, this is what we do. We find people to talk to. Can you do that? They go, yeah. I go, okay. The next thing is when you find people to talk to, guess what you do? You talk to them and you keep finding opportunities to talk to people about the opportunity. And every single person said, I could do that. If I said recruiting, they're like, I don't know, that's scary. I said, can you talk to people? They're like, absolutely. So it's those little things about changing the language, because language has power. There's emotion to that. And I started doing that, like something simple as, hey, as a networker, I used to tell people, go out there, make a list. Someone that has experience making a list because they've done network marketing, they're going to be like, okay, I know how to do that. But someone that's brand new, that's never done it, I tell them to go make a list. Only God knows what kind of list they're going to come back, right? So then I started teaching people, I go, okay, when you make a list, this is who you talk to. Who do you know that's dissatisfied? Who do you know that's dissatisfied? Maybe they love their job, but they're dissatisfied with their income. Well, who do you know that's dissatisfied with their income, but maybe they love their job? They want to be able to do what they love, but have more money. Or who do you know that maybe has a lot of money, but they're dissatisfied with the level of challenges and growth they have in their life? And so when you break it down to basic instructions and teach people how to do it, it makes it so much easier, and it builds confidence for them And that was one of the biggest things that I've noticed in my team is the confidence rising and my ability to be able to coach people where they're at and to break it down and not be lazy with language that actually builds their confidence to go out there and take action. So I'm very, very grateful for these calls, and I'm very grateful for Tim to bring you guys on board. And, the past, couple of months being in this business and just having everything come together, maybe fall in love with the industry again, and maybe fall in love with parts of me that I forgot about, so super grateful.
That's it. That's what you just said means so much.
Wow.
That right there. I got, there's so much I'd like to say about we don't have time to do this, but you were talking about the book, but you brought up something about the audio book. Okay. Guess what the book is? The book is the exact transcription of the audio that was taped in 1981, the first training class that I ever did as vice president of Herbalife. Coming in, I was introduced, and it was at the last minute. Okay, Mark, the founder of Herbalife, says we ought to record this. Okay, go back 45 years ago. Okay, how do you record something 45 years ago? Who do you do it? How does it get done? That sounds crazy to everybody. But we were in Los Angeles, and it took us 2 days to find someone to record it. And they brought in a big machine with a cart, okay? And then they wanted to say, okay, we got to hook it up to the microphone so we can get it directly in. There was no hookup. It was a microphone duct tape to the center chair in the front. There is one edit in that Millionaire Training audio, okay? I love the audio. We only brought out the book 4 years ago, okay? Yeah. The audio, because it tells the stuff, because I know you said it, because you said dissatisfied people. Okay.
I knew I heard it. I was like, you are definitely a student of Millionaire Training, because nobody uses that language that I've heard in years.
Yeah.
So I knew, like, you've definitely been listening repeatedly to pick up on that nuance, that language that you are now sharing with other people.
Wow, that was cool.
I will just say, like, first of all, I'm going to commend you on the way that you shared your story.
Yes, it was good.
The way that now, if you're going to be a student, right, be a student. And what I'm going to do is have our video guys go in and pull out these excerpts and be able to put it in the group that you guys can use and tag and be able to share with people as they come into the Glow Up Gig Facebook community. But what I want to point out is I want you to go back and I want you to hear how you package your story, how you share the story, because there were so many pieces in there, and we could dissect it down psychologically, the psychology behind the way Julian positioned himself. And he created many identification pieces in that. And from being disgruntled networker, from being, all his background. I love the analogy. There was so many, anyway, I don't want to take a lot of time in going back there, because this could be a whole training in and of itself. But to your point, Julian, I so appreciate you being a student and and coming on board and trusting us to then bring your people to the table, to allow them and to see the differences of what we're sharing and how we want to equip people, the everyday person, because this is truly the market, guys. This is so much the market. And one of the top earners that, literally one of the top earners in this book, if I said his name, we'll say he's known in our space as the $100 million man, told me after the meeting that we just did for him today, 4 pages of notes. This man made over $100 million, been in the industry 35 years, took 4 pages of notes. And he said, he goes, it's so simple, so duplicatable. He said, even myself, I still get lost. I still get lost with all of the shiny objects. I still get lost with all the noise out there that I have to get circled back. I have to get circled back to the basics and the fundamentals. And really what you're experiencing, Julian, and I want you to think about, I'll use this analogy. I want you to think about being anchored. I want you to think about what we're doing here with the foot is like an anchor. Whenever you place your anchor in the water, I mean, you can place your anchor in the water and what happens? Why do you place an anchor in the water? So you don't drift. It's so easy. Have you ever been on a boat? Have you ever been on the boat in the ocean and you can't see, you don't see land, right? And you're just rocking along and rocking along and rocking along. You can be drifting miles and miles and miles off course and never realize how much you've drifted. Now, I don't know if a lot of you know anything about boats or anything about the ocean and how far you can be off track. That's what's happened in my mind in our space as direct sales and network marketing. It's so been drifted so off track that people have lost base. They've lost touch with where their anchor, their foundation. Whenever I think about Larry and I putting together a focus group, that's how I see this for Remon, for this team, for this group. Is this being your anchor so you don't drift? You stay focused. You have your circle back to where you can, because environment is always stronger than will. Environment is always stronger than will. You've heard, you like the sum of the 5 people you hang around. You've heard that before. Environment is stronger than will.
A focus group is an environment. It's an environment of a half a dozen things. It's an environment of audience, language, and behavior. It's an environment that no matter what your age is, if you're young enough, old enough, tall enough, short enough, doesn't make any difference, okay? Finances doesn't make any difference. It's an environment of like-minded people that have taken hold of a half a dozen things to go out here and build a tremendous business that will grow them and grow their team. It isn't complicated. It's more simple. If it was complicated, I promise you the long-haired hippie wouldn't be here 56 years later, okay? With the ups and downs and moment in time of life, okay? And with companies, I wouldn't be here. Taylor wouldn't be here, okay? But we're here. But you also said something that you didn't have the confidence. Most network marketers today do not have the confidence. I don't care if they're silver, gold, platinum, double, quadruple platinum, okay? They do not have the confidence that they can do it in this space. You got to realize audience, language, and behavior. This is not traditional network marketing. It's traditional business done with that will attract traditional network marketers, but it will also attract brick and mortar people that don't want to change. The hairstylist in the nail salon doesn't want to change. They don't want to change their life. They want to offset. Remember the word Taylor said? Offset the finances that they have rising costs and decreased finances. They don't want to change what they're doing. The chiropractor doesn't want to change. Grandma's pillow at the local mall doesn't want to change. What they want to do is offset that $400 or $500 a month of rising cost and decreased revenue. So you've got a platform. That's what attracted us here. Besides Tim and Chris and Danny and Betty and all of the stuff and the K-Beauty, this is what we've been telling people for the last 6 years. We had a gig summit, the first gig summit ever held in the country, in the world. We sponsored it in 2019 and said and it was sponsored to be able to show network marketing what they needed to do to stay relevant, okay? And I got to tell you something, okay? Everything that we talked about has happened in our space in the negative, okay? It's happened, okay? They did not understand that they had to change and address a different audience than the 6 million people that are in direct sales. They had to have a message, one voice, one methodology that would attract network marketers, that would attract brick and mortar, that would attract affiliates, and would attract influencers. One voice, one message, one methodology. Let them then adapt it to either the platform of brick and mortar, influencer, network marketing, affiliate, okay? One message, one audience, one behavior. 73 million people in America is in that space we're talking about. Was it 100 million by 27? 100 million by 27 in the space that you got available to you with Rahman and this product that will change people's face instantly, almost 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 hours. Okay. That's instantly. Okay. And be able to take this and go around the globe. Why America? Why America? Because America is an ethnic group of the world. Every ethnic group in the world is here. We're going to dial this in by the end of this year, and we're going to exploit it in 25. And what's going to happen in 25? Every ethnic group, every platform is going to be listening to this. And now you got the ability to take this to other countries with one voice, one message, one methodology, no gurus coming over there and saying, you do it like this, I do it like this. You get this coaching program, you do it like that. Okay, come on our retreat. One voice, one message, one audience. Let's go.
I mean, okay, I'm just going to share this with, first of all, Julie, before we go further, please tell everybody, like you shared with me some, like what happened within the ranks. Like, tell me how many new people that came in as a result of all of this. I think you shared me some numbers that.
I don't know the exact number of reps, but like I said, like I got incredibly lucky with Susan, and I just want to say that over and over again with Susan and Tara, like, good fortune definitely came my way when I helped my friend get started, and I'm glad I did, and I found them, but I still had to meet the other requirements. And I hit director end of May. In the beginning of April, I was 200,000 away. In the beginning of May, I was 110,000. So when we wrapped it up, we did all that volume, and it was all because we kept pushing, like, hey, you got to get qualified for the focus group. You got to get qualified for the focus group. And it's such a great goal because there's so much value placed into it that it's easy to show people what's in it for them, right? Like, hey, you want to do this. Why? Well, number one, you're going to get promoted. You're going to get customers. You're going to be able to build planners. So you know the basics of the business. And then now you're going to qualify to be on these trainings with not just some of the best in the industry, but the people who train the best in the industry. And, those calls alone are going to help you grow your business. And so it was easy to get people to run for that. And so when they actually, qualify for the focus group, there's so many achievements that they've already unlocked that allows them to create momentum. So, we put in so I don't know how many exact planners, but we put in close to 200,000 volume in 60 days from a team with no network marketing experience since the focus group was launched. So we just had them running for it. Because I already knew with your pedigree and your background and the people you work with, I just trusted. I know if I just get them on the call, it's going to take care of itself. And, another cool story because of that too, I actually signed up my mom. My mom, has always let me do my own thing. But in the past, when she's like, so what exactly do you do? And then I would give her the network marketing language. Well, mom, I recruit and build a team of sales distributors. I help them go out there and promote their product and through the compensation plan, like we get paid. And my mom's like, oh, like just make sure it's legal and make sure you're doing the right things and take care of people. That's what my mom would say. But then with Remon, it was like the opposite. I was like, hey, mom, like these products are really good. Because again, through the training, right? Like if you listen to people, they'll tell you what they're dissatisfied. And I'm just talking to my mom and like we're bonding. My mom's like, man, like, my hair is thinning, like my hair is falling out. And I told my mom, like, we actually have a really great product for that. Let me get some for you. It'll help your hair grow back thicker. That's one of the things that it does. And, I was like, we also have really good Korean skincare too, mom. I'll give you some, it's almost Mother's Day. And my mom's like, oh, I love Korean skincare. So my mom used it.
Uh-oh, we lost him.
Yeah.
I got to hear the rest of this story because listen, if Julian can get his mom, like I still haven't been able to get my mom, and I've been doing this 30 years. I don't know.
I got to say something before I lose it because I've lost it 3 times already in the last 10 minutes. Okay. Because everyone's talking the right stuff. You got to get the managers the deal. Why? So you can get on the focus group. Why? So we can dial in the audience language of behavior where you bring them in as to bring them up. So next focus group, think what's going to happen. Now think what's going to happen the last quarter of this year. Okay. And then that's parlayed into the first quarter next year. It's going to be dynamic. But I got to simplify everything in my mind. Okay. And so it's simple. I'm going to use the word top of the plan. And then I'm going to add the word basically, okay? If you want to get to the top of the plan, it's 10-3. Write it down, 10-3. What is 10-3? Get 10 managers and have 3 of them become team leader. That's it. Get 10 managers. How do you get them? Get them here, okay? And have 3 of them become team leaders.
No, I think it's senior manager.
Senior manager? Yeah, senior manager. Okay. But I do know it's 10-3, okay, because Tim and I had this conversation. So you get 10 managers that become senior, 3 of them become senior man. Basically, you're at the top of the plan. Now, how long is that going to take? What difference does it make? If you do it this month, next quarter, first quarter of next year, what difference does it make? What difference does it make if it takes 2 years? What difference does it make if you don't ever quite get there? What difference does it make? Be you. Be at it the rate you want to go, how you want to do it. This is not about someone else meeting someone else's expectations. It's about you meeting your own expectations to the best of your ability. Guess what we have the ability to do? Disappoint ourselves very easily. Don't do that.
Julian, are you on? I think you popped, I got you in.
I did. I got too excited. My phone died.
Okay, so I got to hear the rest of the story about the mom before we close out.
So funny, right? So my mom let me do what she wanted me to do, but she never really believed in it. She saw the money, but whatever, right? But then, I gave my mom the products. She came back a couple of days later. She's like, I love the products. I took before and after pictures. Some of my girlfriends that we cycle with, they noticed. And then she's like, hey, I can get you some customers. And I was like, well, Mom, why don't we just help you get started? It's only $20. You like the products. And if you tell them about it, they go to your website, you're going to get paid. And my mom's like, wait, what? I get my own website and I send it to you, I get paid? I'm like, yeah, it's just like those people on Instagram and TikTok, how they do it now. My mom's like, well, I want you to get paid. I'm like, don't worry, Mom, I'm still going to get paid too, because I'm helping you. I get a smaller percentage, but we both make money. And my mom's like, that's so genius. Like, whoever thought of that? That's so awesome. Like, just people helping people. And so essentially, I told my mom the same thing. I was like, Mom, what do you think I've been doing all these years, right? But it's just funny because it's a change in language. And because I changed the language, I kept it basic and just something that everybody can understand. My mom got started. She's using the product. She's recommended it to her friends. And I've never had that experience before. And it's just so funny.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's so cool. I'm excited to meet your mom.
Thank you so much for that. Audience is out there. 73 million are looking for you right now. Remember Taylor said offset? What are 80% of those 73 million looking for right now? To offset their gasoline bill, to help offset their food bill, to help offset the utility bill. That's what they're looking for. And if you open up their eye, change their face, they can change their finance and offset. People today are looking for ways to make money, but they're different today because they know that there's so much craziness out there that it's hard to identify with it. This is the blue collar money making thing because if it hits blue collar, every truck driver, I built my entire business for 56 years. Okay, I'll take you to Herbalife because I can remember like yesterday, the lady truck driver, never been in network marketing. The carpet cleaner, never been in network marketing. The mattress salesman, never been in network marketing. Okay. I took those stories to the marketplace. If they can do it, you could do it in a very difficult time for network marketing. And look what happened. And then Taylor and I have done this for years. Okay, guys, this always worked. It's been missing for us since 2019. Is we've been trying to share with companies and distributorships that this is what they need to do. Ramon already had the structure. They already had what would work for the 4 platforms. Now all we got to do is GPS it. And how are we going to GPS it? Audience, language, and behavior. Guess who's paying attention? Korea. Okay. They're saying we know if we're going to go globally, we got to do it in America, the way America does it. And then we'll take all those ethnic groups in America that's doing it country by country with one message. And we're going to, anyway, this is exciting, guys. I got stuff.
He's excited. Okay. One last thing I want to share with you guys before I turn it over to Tim and Chris. Okay. So Larry shared this with me and if you recognize your post, I don't know if I should call you out, but I'm just going to read it because it was so good. So it starts out this way. Last year, I felt a little lost. What I had planned to do wasn't exactly panning out, and I was caught in a web of indecisiveness. I prayed a lot about it, but God said to wait and trust. I'm not very good at doing that, but I'm learning. In March of this year, he made it clear what I was to do. And y'all, it's blowing me away. My face changed in a matter of days, and so have my finances. My team is growing quickly with people I just adore and love doing life with. In just over 2 months, my business partners and I have grown to a team.
The phone died right at the cliffhanger.
Somebody mute that stuff.
My face changed in a matter of days, and so have my finances. My team is growing quickly with people that I just adore and love doing life with. In just over 2 months, my business partners and I've grown to a team of more than 600. If you're looking to offset some expenses because of rising costs of living, this is a stable business with proven results and having done 2.5 billion. It's new to North America, and we're still at the beginning. Break free from the cycles of doubt and uncertainty. Trust if this opportunity has been on your mind, it's for a good reason. Don't let fear or others' opinions hold you back. They don't pay your bills. Find and connect with those who have succeeded and are eager to help grow, who truly want to see you thrive, not just for their gain, but because they believe in your potential. The time is now. Don't wait any longer. It's time to grow and glow. Hashtag change your face, change your finances. Hashtag glow and grow. Hashtag offset expenses. Now, I have to say, like, I love this post, and it's I mean, and if it's your post and if you want to say something, please just say something. Say something. I don't know if I mean, okay.
While that's taking place, here's one thing I want. This is very important, what I'm about to say. Please pay attention, okay? I know most of you.
Wait.
I got to say this before she comes on, okay? I got to say this. I know most of you locked in on she has 600 people on her team. And you're saying, how can I do that, or I can't do that? It doesn't matter about 600. It doesn't matter if she's got 60. It doesn't matter if she's got 6. What matters is how she feels with audience, language, and behavior.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Do not compare yourself to anything else. Compare yourself to this moment in time of your life circumstances and how you're absorbing things. It's okay. Don't get locked in on this.
Sandy says, yes, Larry, I locked in on that. Yes, because we know you.
I'm sorry.
We know how you think. Right? We know how you eat. We know how you walk. We know what you do. Because why? Because we've been there, done that, and bought a few t-shirts. Okay, so I'm going to tell who it is. So Tara Strunk, are you on?
Yes.
Right here. Okay,
watching
Tara.
you too.
Okay, Tara. So I hope you don't mind, but like, tell us about this post and tell us what kind of feedback on what kind of response that you've had. Now, I usually am a good lawyer and I always know the answer before I ask the question, but in this case, I don't. So there you go.
Well, this week the momentum took off. Somebody told somebody who told somebody in seeds that I planted 3 months ago. And, you don't think people are watching if you don't get the response that you had hoped for. And they're all starting to roll in, and I'm having planners enroll planners before I even get to talk to them. And that's a fun place to be. And I used the number 600 because I said my business partners and so I am borrowing the momentum from my team. So I personally don't have 600, but I have more planners than I had people at my last company in the first 2.5 months than it took me 3 years to do at my other company.
Wow. Okay, so I love this, and congratulations. I love the post. I love the language, and I thank you for allowing us to use you as an example here. And thank you for unmuting yourself and being bold to jump in here. So here's the thing.
Tell us your background. Are you a long-haired hippie? What are you?
I'm a former school teacher, 28 years. And when I had to teach kindergarten online, I lost my mind. So I was so thankful for network marketing that I'd already been involved with. That was the blessing. God knew way ahead of time that I needed. And I made exactly what I needed to get out and match my teaching salary. So that was a blessing. So now I have that. Yay.
And where are you from, Tara?
I am from the Nashville, Tennessee area.
I guess from the South, but okay, there you go.
Didn't you text me and there was a couple of.
Yes, and I was going to brag on you that you had time to text me. Yes.
I missed it and I felt so bad about it because I'm really good at getting back to you guys. And if I don't take it personally. Hit me again, man. I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you guys being so open and available to us. And that really stood out. I was very impressed with that.
Well, if you had a Lamborghini, a bikini, I probably would do more of it. You know what I mean? How they do in network marketing. And unless you're a leader and you're driving a Lamborghini, well, you don't waste my time. Ridiculous. Long-haired hippie construction worker, no education, no self-confidence. Think about Jim Rohn and Bobby if you're doing that to me. I learned from the best.
Yeah. So I know that I was going to go into something based on around what you said, but I think I'm going to table it for next week's call because it's a whole launching pad based on what you just said there at the end. So I'm going to have to remind me to go back to that for next week. But what I do want to do is I definitely want to thank all of those who chimed in. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Julian, for your contributions for the call, because these are the stories. These are the stories that carry. These are the stories that encourage. These are the stories that build each other up. These are the stories that create belief in those walking behind you, those that are coming along behind you. So thank you for making yourself vulnerable in sharing these things. So I want to turn it over to Tim and Chris and let you guys, if you have anything to say before we close out.
I'm so fired up, man. I'm excited out of my mind right now. I've got so many good notes today on this call. And the thing I want to say is, like, on Saturday, it was really awesome getting a call from somebody that obviously you guys were talking about earlier, the $100 million man. And I've never talked to him in my life, but he reached out to me on WhatsApp and was like, man, you're so lucky to get a chance to be able to learn from Larry and Taylor. And it was just amazing. Like, I was like, dang, man, this is so remarkable. You know what I mean? Because it's like this gentleman made $100 million and he remembers exactly where it came from. And it's information just like these calls. So I just am so fired up, man. I get so excited about what's going to happen for the people that are plugged into the system that are growing and developing, because just like you guys all said, it's like, as we get people locked in and that are having success, how you bring them in is how you bring them up. And it's super simple to be a team leader. Just like when Larry called me on Friday and said, hey, he goes, am I getting this right? All you need is 10 people to get 10 managers, right? And 3 of them be senior managers. I'm like, that is the most basic way. And immediately Chris and I just changed our language right away. And we started using that right away. But it's like, everybody's like, man, how do I become a team leader? All you got to do is get 10 people qualified for the focus group and you're there. So it's like, how hard is it to get people excited about this, about developing, growing, and learning and changing their finances, right? I mean, it really comes down to that audience language and behavior. So I'm just excited for everybody. I don't want to take up too much time. I know Chris is super excited about it as well, but this is such a blessing, man. I can't believe how fortunate we all are to get a chance to be able to get mentored and trained and equipped by you guys, because this information we're applying it right away. And that's the most important thing. Is, like you said, it's application. It's not just getting information, but it's about application, right? It's about applying it. And that's all we're doing. It's just literally, Chris and I are the best. Literally, we're the best at applying stuff because it's super simple and it makes so much sense.
I love it. Chris, do you have anything?
Yeah. Well, I got a little FOMO like 2 days ago. Tim called me. Hey, that guy that made $100 million. I just talked to him, and it just took me down memory lane, guys, because I remember, without even knowing that Larry and Taylor are behind this true masterpiece of the industry. Because I remember 16 years ago, my direct upline gave me the CD. And I remember listening to that gentleman talking about how, I know Lamborghini bikinis are relevant, but, something that was relevant at the time, he was talking about the Jesus story and the cleaning his sandals out and how he was able to, buy a Ferrari with that 1 month check. I know times have changed, but it was stories like that and really hearing these personal development CDs. And then, 16 years later, come full circle that knowing that, Mr. Larry was the one that trained that gentleman. I was so starstruck. And it was just another reminder of how spoiled we actually are. We're super fortunate to have Larry and Taylor here training us. But what all of us as an organization need to identify is it's the focus group. It's going manager, creating a manager, because once you go through that whole journey of becoming one and learning how to promote one, then you have all the skill sets you need to be a national director, because it's really the anchor. And moving forward, as we launch off the summer in July with this 3-7 program with 10 managers, it's truly going to take your business to the next level once you understand how to really leverage the system, put that into action, because it's really not about your skill set, right? It's about how well you can duplicate yourself and being really basic, breaking it down to the basic ABCs and 1, 2, 3. So I just want to pay homage to Mr. Larry and Taylor Thompson. Thank you so much. We are fortunate to be a part of this focus group, and I just look forward to the future. So thank you, guys. Let's create layers and layers and leaders of managers, guys. I'll see you guys all at the top. Thank you so much for your time today.
I love you guys. And I just want to, this is the first time that we've had inside of this group. And I would be remiss if I did not pay homage to these two gentlemen here who just qualified for the very top position of Remon, the first ones to reach the pinnacle. Definitely well deserved. And I want to give everybody, do you guys give them a big hand and congrats?
We want to pay our deepest gratitude and respects to our team. Thank you so much.
Well done, guys. Well done. All right, so we're gonna finish up the call. Okay, so here's your homework. I see a little, if you're not getting emails for the focus group, then that means that you didn't go to glowupgig.com/qualify to put your information in so you can qualify to get to the emails, so you can get the information, so you can be in the group. Okay, so I'm not going to do this. That's your responsibility.
If you don't do it, you don't get it. That's period.
It's your
Take responsibility and get on with it.
To go there and put your information in, so then we can communicate. So make sure that go put your story. Go fill up the Facebook group. Let's bring people up. Let's bring people in the community. Let's go. Okay.
What's up, Em?
Yes. Somebody?
Chris.
I thought Chris said something. Okay. Are you guys ready?
The 1, 2, 3 Dallas, Texas thing. Come on, get ready.
Let's go. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
From Dallas, Texas.
Bye, Chris Gibb.
Right there. When she gets legal, we're going to sign her up. That's
Bye, guys. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Okay.
Recording stopped.